like to invite Shri Nagaraj Paturi ji, who is the director of Indic Academy, to give the background about this conference on Hindu meditation traditions and techniques. A few words of introduction about Professor Nagaraj ji. Dr. Nagaraj ji is the director of Inter Gurukula University Center for Indic Knowledge Systems of Indic Academy. And Shri Nagaraj ji is trained in Samskrita, Advaita Vedanta by his hyperglot, polymath, and spiritually accomplished Sakala Shastra Parangata father, late Shri Paturi Sitarama Anjaneyulu ji. And for the last 30 years, Shri Nagaraj ji has been teaching Vedic aesthetics, poetics, as applied to classical literature, traditional Indian grammar, and modern linguistics to postgraduate level students, parallel to his university career in cultural studies, specializing in folk classical Vedic interface through his fieldwork-based research. He has been teaching courses in cultural studies related courses such as qualitative research, ethnography, semiotics, cognitive cultural studies to students of design, communication, classical dance, business management, and so on, employing Vedic science approach in suitable portions of the course. Shri Nagaraj ji is also a distinguished member of various academic councils in various academic research organizations like Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth, Kavikula Guru Kalidasa Samskrita University, Veda Vijnana Gurukula. Shri Nagaraj ji also has been formerly a senior professor of cultural studies in the Flame School of Communications, and Nagaraj ji has also been a former visiting professor at the University of Chicago, United States. Around 50 publications and 60 conference, seminar, workshop papers are there to his credit. So consultancy to numerous cultural research and theater and dance innovative projects are there, and scores of creative writing works for classical dance, modern theater, and magazines are there to the credit of Shri Nagaraj ji. Now I would like to request Nagaraj ji to kindly give the background of this conference.
Thank you, Dr. Jayaramanji. I am proud and excited to talk about the background of this conference. As it happens with all our activities, including these conferences, the whole idea of the conference always started, and it has started in this case also, from Shri Harikiran Vadlamaniji's ever incessantly creative mind. He keeps on getting these ideas how only Saraswati Devi knows, because she inspires him with newer and newer ideas. And there is a whole list of titles for various conferences he generates. And if you have observed the recent announcements for the future conferences and the past few conferences and the present one, there is a tendency in the titles of these conferences. We have been consciously and deliberately been using the word Hindu in them. Our organization is called Indic Academy, Indica. We have a Center for Indic this, Indic that, and the word used to be Indic earlier. But gradually we realized that unless the word Hindu is consciously, deliberately, and emphatically repeatedly used in our terminology, in our communication, the deliberate uh, attempts to hide this identity in various aspects of our traditions and cultures cannot be countered. So we began this journey. We have been consciously titling our conferences with the word Hindu for this purpose. Particularly when it came to this particular conference, Hindu meditation traditions and techniques, when Sri Harikiranji suggested this topic, imagine there was a resistance from within Indic Academy's scholars themselves. This has been happening whenever Sri Harikiranji suggests the word Hindu. There have been expressions of resistance. The common thread in all these resisting expressions is that there will be a resistance in reception from the contemporary audience. That is the level to which the Macaulay education has taken Indian society today, that the communicators, teachers, academics, scholars, conference organizers hesitate repeatedly to use words like Hindu as an adjective to anything. If the name of any other religion is used as an adjective to any other thing, any aspect of culture or tradition, and there is a conference organized on that, it is considered to be a broad-minded, a global, a big picture perspective. But if the same society uses its own name as an adjective to its own aspects of culture, its own aspects of traditions, there is this resistance. For example, you call it meditation, just meditation, without any adjective, no problem. I'll get audience, I'll get students, I'll get registrations. But don't call it Hindu meditation, was the approach from our own friends from within. But as you know, Sri Harikiranji has his own way of taking things forward. So finally, we are here. We are now organizing this conference with the same name, Hindu Meditation Traditions and Techniques, as decided by Sri Harikiranji. And we have a tagline also. In the tagline, we included the word dhyana. Actually, the word Hindu meditation is an English word. Meditation is an English word used all over the world. Hindu is a new coinage to refer to the culture of Bharatakhanda, Bharatavarsha, Bharat. We have used both, but dhyana is the insider word, emic category, to refer to what we are going to discuss for the next 2 days. Let us see the irony. All over the world, Zen Buddhism, in my young days, it was very popular. It was fashionable for youngsters to quote a Zen monk, Zen Buddhist monk. And even now, Zen is a very fashionable word. Among those who do not want to be religious, but want to be spiritual, among those who do not want to claim themselves to be Hindu, also, being Hindu, they don't want to claim their Hinduness also, the word Zen is very popular, fashionable. And if you go to any source, a random source, to know the origins of the word Zen, it takes you to dhyana. It says the word Zen comes from dhyana, the Sanskrit word. And when you study the origin of these words, it also tells you that in Chinese, it is Shan, and it is in Korean, Theon. And we can easily see the similarity of the words, and we can see how the pronunciation of the Sanskrit word dhyana has changed into all these different words. And with those names, strands of Buddhism, branches of Buddhism, sects of Buddhism are very popular, fashionable, not just popular. But we failed in making dhyana similarly fashionable among fashionable circles. Dhyana obviously is a Vedic word. We are using Hindu. Actually, we have been pushed from history to limit the word Hindu to refer to Vedic strand of Bharata culture only. Though actually in the beginning, the word was used in reference to the entire cultural complex, including Buddha and Jaina paramparas also. The entire culture that was available here for the foreigners crossing Indus River, for them, the whole cultural complex here was Sindhu culture. For them, Sa is H, so Ha, so it came to be known as Hindu. But today, because we are limiting that to Vedic, and let us see if Vedic can be used or Hindu can be used today for the purpose of identity, uh, which is consciously being hidden, diverted by scholars of Indology and other researchers all over the world who deliberately want to show that all the yoga aspects, meditation aspects, asceticism aspects that are found in the Vedanta side, in the Upanishad side of Vedic tradition have been borrowed from Buddhism, and they are historically post-Buddhist. This argument is being countered. Actually, nowadays I see a new trend among the youngsters from Western Indological circles themselves resisting these deliberate politicizing conspiracies of hiding the Vedic origins of all these things. These youngsters are bringing out, for example, there was a recent article by one Dr. Garrity on the Om meditation being in Rig Veda at the time of death, Om meditation, Pranava meditation at the time of death being a very essential practice of Rig Veda, countering Dr. Bronkhorst, who argues to the opposite. He says Bronkhorst's Greater Magadha theory proposes that everything like yoga, meditation, dhyana, all the spiritual side, all the ascetic side of Hinduism is borrowed from Buddhism. He counters that. That new trend is emerging. Probably the days of these manipulators are to be counted from now. And India is awaking. We're all awakened now. We're all claiming Hindu-ness of all these traditions and techniques by through the titles of these conferences and through all the papers. We are so lucky to have got, actually, we were excited. See, Harikiranji, Ramanji and myself were so excited to receive such a very great reception from the scholars and practitioners. Such a diversity of topics has been covered. People have come up with wonderful ideas. Shri Manish ji, who was there throughout during the formulation of the ideas of this conference, brought up a wonderful and pertinent topic of whether the word Dhimahi in Gayatri Mantra, how is it interpreted? That is crucial. That is the key of the whole origin, Vedic origin of the idea of dhyana. And what people do usually is nowadays, in this attempt of manipulation, is that there is a derivation of the word dhimahi from another dhatu dha, to hold, which is the origin dhatu for dharana of yoga. They take this and they say dhimahi comes from that dhatu, not from the other dhatu. That is useful for them. So they go with that. Though technically the word dhimahi can be derived from both the dhatus in the same sense. Sayanacharya in his bhashya for Gayatri Mantra takes dhi only as the origin. We go with our parampara, we go with our bhashyakaras like Sayanacharya, and we go with dhi only. So if we go with the dhi as the meaning, not only because Sayanacharya has said that, friends, please remember the whole Nitya Karma of Sandhya Vandana, its formulation, its inclusion in Vedic rituals, and inclusion of Gayatri Mantra in Yajna Karmas throughout. Everywhere, and the discussions in Brahmanas and Aranyakas about Gayatri Mantra also take this meaning only, deriving it from the only. So they refer to Dhimahi of Gayatri Mantra, which is part of Rig Veda mantras, as referring to dhyana only. That's a different topic for a different day, but so all these things show how deliberately things are getting manipulated. Dhyana as a concept from Vedic tradition is being misinterpreted and misrepresented. So it is time we repeatedly use this word dhyana, 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 and make it popular, fashionable, accepted term, coming from Vedic tradition and Hindu tradition. The word dhyana has been used in various aspects of Hindu practices, like take it from Agama, Vigraha Pratishtha to Yajna, everywhere. Actually, I am so excited to see that there is an invited speech by Sri Ramana Sharma about the use of dhyana in yajnas. That's a wonderful topic. So we have involvement of dhyana in every aspect, in multiple aspects. All those things are getting covered by the papers in this conference. The reception, the response to the conference through these papers shows that people have been waiting. And Sri Harikiran Vardhamani ji was able to see the pulse like a great doctor. He saw the pulse of the society, pulse of the scholarly circles, and he came up with this topic, and he was right. His diagnosis was right. All the hidden excitement, all the hidden interest among scholars got manifest in the form of a great reception, great response in the form of wonderful papers to this conference. So I welcome all the panelists, all the paper presenters to present papers and enlighten people. These papers are going to be both scholarly and also they are going to cover the practices, uh, techniques also. So, as the title clearly mentions, it talks about not just traditions, it talks about the details of techniques also. So, I request all the scholars to be conscious about the objective of this conference and emphasize the Hindu-ness of dhyana in each and every presentation in this conference. Thank you very much.